Alrighty. All right, what's going on, everyone? Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome back to the greatest game on earth, I happen to think. All right, y'all, quick sound check here for me. I got to keep things a little bit short and sweet. I've got me a quick appointment this morning, but for those of you in the Essentials room, I'll be back at 10:30 Central this morning. I'll be back for more fun. All right, good morning, Lorna. Good morning, Damien, Omer, Russ, Rob, Joe. The whole gang is here. All right, so quick look here at the futures. And the futures are frisky. The S&P futures up about 0.7%. The RUT a little bit quiet. The Dow Jones is quiet. And then the big dog, the QQQ, up about 1.2%. Kicking off things with a bang. So as far as the S&Ps and the QQQ, of course, things will change a little bit this morning given the gap up. But as far as the next meaningful move, a move with a little bit of meat on the bones, the SPX, the QQQ, the IWM, and the Dow, they've all got these big 4-hour squeezes. And a 4-hour squeeze can definitely pack a punch. So I think as far as a major focus this week, on my end, I want to day trade it. We're a little bit too overbought for me to want to, go to bed every night with calls, though that might continue to work. And then as far as getting short and holding a short overnight, it's a little tricky in this market. I think until we get a bigger break, one good rule of thumb, take your daily 21 EMA. From there, you're kind of playing the over-under game. For example, if the QQQ can crank out 2 closes under that daily 21 EMA, not a guarantee we're going to go lower, but that does open the door for a bit of a flush. If we're back above that 21 EMA, which I believe will be back above this morning, 438-ish. So yeah, we'll gap above that at the open. Below that 21 EMA, nothing but lower time frame sell signals. Little easier to get a flush. Above that 21 EMA, nothing but buy signals. I think easier for continuation higher. And then the S&Ps here. We'll take a look at that 4-hour squeeze. Now, one thing I'm seeing in a lot of different spots, the spiders, the QQQ, the semiconductors, the big 3 signals on the daily chart, they've gone from green to blue. We've lost our buy signal, and now things are neutral. That alone doesn't mean we can't continue to push higher. But the whole context is, over on the monthly chart, we had that beautiful monthly squeeze. She fired to the upside, and that pretty much brought us right towards that target. I think anytime we're up here at that monthly 3 ATR, which granted, we're not up here all that often. My thinking is, all right, they might keep taking it higher. They might take it lower. Where I think I'm going to find my clarity in my plate of opportunity would be down on a 15-minute, 30-minute, or an hourly time frame, or something like that 4-hour squeeze. If I'm sitting here waiting for the monthly chart to have problems, I'll be sitting through $1,000 pullback. If we are going to get a bigger pullback in the market, those problems, they'll happen on your 5-minute, then your 15-minute, your 30-minute. But again, that's kind of the context of what I'm looking at. Crazy strong market. I want to be very careful about fighting the crazy strong market. But I do think a good rule of thumb, when you're up there at that monthly 3 ATR, transition a little bit to a day trade approach as opposed to a swing trade approach. Lower time frame signals, lower time frame squeezes. That'll be the drill on my end this week. So watch the 4-hour squeezes, and then for the futures here. Now, y'all know I'm an early bird, and the early bird gets the worm. So, of course, today I slept in, and I missed a beautiful 15-minute squeeze here. It's what I get for sleeping in. Like a bum. Not a bad way to kick off your Monday. About 20, 30 S&P points. Not too shabby. But that's a good example of what I'm looking for. I don't want to load up on calls and hold overnight. I want to be a bit careful about getting short overnight. There's my plate of opportunity. 15-minute squeeze, 15-minute buy signal. You got the structure, all the fixings for a little bit of a push. Jump in, catch the push, and keep it moving. Which would imply if I'm going to get short, if you look at the inverse chart here, flip the futures upside down, my short would look something like that. 15-minute squeeze, 15-minute sell signal, broken structure, all the fixings for a nice flush. Catch that move lower, and you keep it moving. So that is the game plan. And then let me get the calendar here. Rumor on the street is we've got a couple things happening this week on the good old economic calendar. So what do we got? 10 o'clock today, home builder confidence. I'd imagine a bit meaningless. Tomorrow, housing starts, building permits. If you're Bob the Builder, you might care about that. But then we got Wednesday. The J-POW Wednesday. So typical 2 o'clock, we'll get the interest rate decision. All kinds of speculation there. And then at 2:30, we'll hear from the man himself, the big dog, JP. And then on Thursday, we have the jobless claims at 8:30. So I'm definitely going to wake up a bit earlier on Wednesday. A couple Fed speakers, and then, Friday. We got a double dose of Powell. Fed Chair Powell takes part in Fed Listens event. 9 o'clock Friday morning. So a couple things to keep an eye on there. But again, I think whether we're in an overbought market, we're in a bull market, we're in a bear market, we've got economic reports, jobless claims, the Fed. A lot of clarity will come from your lower time frames. So that'll be my focus. And as far as a few setups, granted, I'm not too focused on the stocks right now. S&Ps go higher, the QQQ goes higher, most things will go higher. But a few things that I think do look pretty interesting. One of them actually happens to be energy. Now, the only issue for now, it's a little bit beyond the point where I'd want to buy it on the daily chart. Had I been a good boy, right, had I done my job, we're buying it somewhere back here in that daily squeeze near that 21 EMA. And then you are riding the wave higher. But I think on a pullback, energy could be pretty interesting. If we pull up the weekly chart, we've got a pretty good-looking weekly squeeze. Went from the slingshot signal to the official buy signal. But then I think the real kicker here, it's got to be that monthly squeeze. And what I like about it is not too many things in the market have a big, fresh monthly squeeze. I think Tesla's got one, but Tesla's a little bit sketchy. But then your S&Ps, your QQQ, they already had their squeeze. They already fired, and for the most part, they're all pretty much up there at that monthly squeeze target. So in terms of a big, fresh idea, that does look pretty destined for a push towards $100. I think you catch a pullback into a daily 21 EMA. That might be a good spot for 3 to 4 months out to expiration. Grabbing a few of those calls up here at $100. And then for a few of the energy names here, Valero's a beast. ExxonMobil is a beast. MPC is a beast. You've got PXD. They're all pretty much moving and grooving. So I like that as far as a pullback idea. And then one thing that I'm seeing in the semiconductors, even SMH itself, with the exception of NVIDIA and SMCI. And let me check, where's NVIDIA going to open? I'd imagine higher. NVIDIA going to open at that 902. Right back up to 900 she goes. So yeah, with the exception of Nvidia and SMCI, a lot of these semi stocks have pulled back to the 21 EMA, including the SMH itself. Now, by no means does that mean that I've got a trade today. Like, oh wow, we pulled back to the 21 EMA, and I'm gonna jump in here today and blindly buy calls. That's not quite the game plan. It's a bit more of, all right, they brought it back down to earth. They've got it on top of the launching pad. If they can get a little bit of rocket fuel here, that thing might take liftoff. Rocket fuel coming in the form of some lower time frame buy signals. Basic stuff. Above that 21 EMA, and then you check your 5-minute, 15, the 30-minute, the 1 hour. You check all your lower time frames on the big three signals. Above that rising 21, nothing but lower time frame buy signals. That does set things up for continuation higher. Below that 21 EMA, indicator cranking out nothing but sell signals makes it a little bit easier for a short. So point being, I've got it where I want it, but I don't quite have a trigger to buy it, and I don't really have a setup. Best case scenario, they pull it back to a 21, and we're chopping for a bit, we're holding structure, and then you get a beautiful daily squeeze. That'd be ideal at a minimum. If we can get a couple buy signals coming through, that might set things up for another pop. So there's SMH, and then AMD. Back home to the 21. All right, but no squeeze. At the moment, no lower time frame buy signals. So patience on that one. And then Broadcom, AMAT, and LRCX. They've all pulled back a bit. Doesn't mean I got a trade just yet, but I can look for a trade down here a little bit easier than I can look for a trade all the way up here, up there at that target. So you got the semiconductors, you've got the energy sector, and then a quick look here at XLK. Again, this will change a little bit at the open. On Friday, that does close below that 21 EMA. But I'd like to think with QQQ gapping up about 1.5%, that should pop back above that 21. And then for a couple tech stocks here, if any of you bought Google on Friday, you're going to be a little bit richer this morning. You'll be buying your Rolls Royce later today. Google gapping up to about 149. Because why the heck not? So that's like a 5 or a 6% pop. That'll help the QQQ. And then don't forget, we still got that weekly squeeze here for Google. And we've had it pretty much since September. A lot of anticipation being built up. But yeah, keep that in mind for Google. A move back up here towards 150 doesn't guarantee the weekly squeeze fires long, but it does put it in better standing to do exactly that, which I think would take you towards that 160, 165-ish. So Google shaping up. Let's go see Microsoft. Microsoft's got a nice daily squeeze, though that's down about $4. Go check up on the Big Apple. And we all know Apple's kind of a hot mess, right? So a $2 gap up this morning in Apple. On paper, sounds pretty good. It'll help the QQQ get things going. As far as Apple cleaning up all the issues here, the issues in the signals, the issues in the structure, we're going to need a lot more than a $2 gap up. We would need like a $20 gap up to get Apple back into good standing. And then you've got Tesla. And Tesla is gapping up $7. which again, on paper, like, oh yeah, Tesla's gapping up. A move back into 170 changes nothing, fixes nothing. Still below that 21 EMA, still below the 50, still a country mile below that 200 SMA. It's not going to fix the structure, not going to fix momentum. It's pretty much not going to fix anything. Which would imply if you want to day trade Tesla, you can trade it. But as far as a good-looking stock for a push higher, that'd be XLE or Valero, and not quite the Tesla. Although we do have the monthly squeeze here, which at the moment I think is a bit more poised to fire short. But frankly, I'm not watching Tesla all that much as a general statement. And then the last thing that I got for you good people here would be the crude oil futures. And I still think there's some potential here. Potential for a pop. A lot of squeezes. Weekly squeeze, a 2-day squeeze, a daily, a 2-hour, a 1-hour, a 30, and a 15. The star of the show being that daily squeeze. I think really good stuff. Above your trailing stop, the structure is bullish. The squeeze is bullish. The signals are bullish. That all makes for an A-plus setup. If they can rip that through 82, I think pretty quickly you're getting 83 to about 84. Alrighty, y'all. So as a general recap, I think the major thing to watch develop this week going to be the 4-hour squeezes on the indices. We got one in the SPX. We got one in the QQQ. Got one in the Dow Jones, and we got one in the IWM. So they might not fire today. They might not fire tomorrow. They might not even fire this week. I think a pretty safe bet, they don't fire long or short before Powell. So maybe one of those things where we're kind of sitting around waiting until Wednesday, Thursday. But like I said earlier, I think as far as your next meaningful move, that should come when the 4-hour squeezes fire. For better or for worse. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And aside from all of that, I'm watching the futures and looking for some good day trades. And I missed one this morning, man. That's what I get for partying. Partying on St. Patty's Day. That is the price you pay. What a rip. What a rip. But yeah, I'm looking for a little bit more action like that. Whether it be a long, whether it be a short, lower time frame squeeze, lower time frame buy or sell signal. You lock in your entry into that 21 EMA, and you ride that squeeze wave. But all right, guys, I got a little bit of time here for a few questions. I'm a little bit backed into a corner this morning, but I will be back here. Let me check the time just to confirm. I'll be back at doodly doo. 10:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Back for more fun. Yeah, Rob, I think NVIDIA back up towards that 900. Any little problems across your 5-minute, 15-minute time frames, that should tidy things up a bit. Hey, good morning, Debbie. Good morning, David. Good morning, Debbie. Could I look at CXW? Yeah, let's go take a peek. Yeah, we got some squeezes, all right. The weekly, the 3-day, the 2-day, the daily, the 4-hour, and the 2-hour. So we got a lot of compression. And what we can take from that is, all right, CXW, It's fixing the bust and move. It's building up all that energy, all that compression. Eventually, compression turns into expansion. They build up the energy and they release the energy. My favorite thing to do, in this case, mark up your 21 EMA from your daily squeeze, and then you're playing the over-under game with your lower time frame signals. Above that daily 21, bunch of lower time frame squeezes, and then you get your 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1-hour buy signals. Much better chance to take all those squeezes to the upside. Vice versa, under your daily 21, bunch of lower time frame squeezes, bunch of lower time frame sell signals. They might want to take that for a bit of a ride lower. And then, as always, the market's a big part of it. So, take it a step further. It trades above that daily 21. It's got lower time frame squeezes, lower time frame buy signals, and the market is strong. Then it's even a bit more likely they do want to take that higher. Not too shabby, my friend. Not too shabby. Yeah, David, I'll definitely get back to you today. My apologies for not getting back to you yesterday. But I've got you, my friend. And then MLKN. Yeah, so that one looks ready to go for it. It's pretty similar to the other one, but you got a few more buy signals. Little bit more ammunition for a push higher. So that one's really clean. Really clean. All right, folks on YouTube, good morning. Hey, good morning, Bashir. So I got a couple more things to tighten up, and I'm going to need a little bit of help here from our indicator master, Eric. But give me, maybe a few more days. We'll get everything finalized, and then we'll get working on pushing the update. There's a few things coming in the update that you can't see on the charts right now. Couple of extra goodies, but I think you're all going to be pretty happy. So we are getting closer, my friend. We are getting closer. Audrey Trade, what software do I use? In terms of the charting software, that's Thinkorswim. In terms of how I'm streaming, I am using something called Restream. Studio.restream. Good morning, Anna. Okay, yeah, is that why Google's gapping up? It's a casual 5% gap up. Google getting loose on a Monday. Yeah, that'll help. That'll help the bulls. And yeah, PXD was the only thing I didn't love about it was the spreads on some of the options were a little bit too thick. But as far as a great setup, what a beautiful example. Now, what I like to do, even if I didn't take the trade, I want to take a screenshot of that. Put that in my notebook or put that in my the squeeze folder on my desktop. Even if I didn't take the trade, visually that pattern recognition, that's what I'm trying to ingrain. Squeeze, buy signal, 21 EMA. Trying to make it a repeatable process. But all right, y'all, I got to hit the road here. Looking like crude oil's trying to wake up a bit. So listen, if y'all want to do your friend Taylor a favor and plow all of your money into crude oil today, I'd appreciate it. But all right, folks, welcome back. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you all have a great week. Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you listening in on YouTube, we're going to do these pre-market prep sessions every day of the week moving forward. Monday through Friday, same time, same channel. So with that being said, I will catch y'all tomorrow morning. For those of you here at Simpler, I'll catch you in the Essentials room at 10:30 Central, and we'll keep on keeping on. But all right, guys and gals, thank you for your time as always. Much appreciated, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.